Let's talk with the voice of the Browns, Jim Donovan. So, Jim, obviously, when you're writing a check that's this big, and let's face it, this is the biggest check that anyone has ever written for an NFL player, you have to have a comfort level. And I'm guessing that when the grand jury decided that Watson would not be charged on any of the 10 counts against him, that trade machine really kicked into high gear. And the Browns, as we talked about last week, came back to the table after initially learning that Watson was not going to waive his no trade to come to Cleveland. Tell us about what the Browns were doing behind the scenes to look into these allegations, but more specifically to look into the character of Deshaun Watson before making this deal.
Well, Jay and Betsy, it is a deal that has really changed the financial dynamics in the NFL. Now, those change month to month, but this is the newest change. The Browns have really raised the bar in the way you spend money to try and win, and that is the new way in the NFL right now. You don't sit around and wait anymore for draft choices to become great players. If you have a team that you think is ready to win, and the Browns feel that way, then you go out and finish it off. They felt they lacked at quarterback, and they feel on Friday afternoon when Deshaun Watson said, "I'm coming to Cleveland," they dramatically improved at the quarterback position. Are they better at quarterback with Deshaun Watson over Baker Mayfield? I think 100 people in a room would say, no doubt about it. No slam on Mayfield at all, but this guy is purebred athlete. He is the new prototype quarterback. He can run, he can throw, and he wins a lot. But there is a big layer, and the layer outside of the playing field is a big problem that the Browns had to be convinced that it was going to get fixed and it was going to be okay. The 22 civil allegations and cases that are pending against Deshaun Watson. The Browns, when they met with Watson down in Houston last week, it was both Haslams, Dee and Jimmy Haslam, Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski. They talked long and hard about the situation legally, what's happening, what are you going to do about these cases, and they felt, walking away from it, they felt that he was sincere and honest about the situation and that the cases would get fixed somehow and that things would be better in time. But it was going to take an awful lot of time. And then what surprised the Browns was the biggest thing. They thought it was all about geography, all about being able to play in a dome, all about going to the NFC rather than playing in the AFC, and they were shocked. It came down to money. They finally found out they offered him a $230 million guaranteed deal, and the money ended up winning out. They paid more than anybody else, and so that's where they are right now. Off the field, problem. On the field, big-time winner. You weigh it yourself and see where you are. Now, a statement released yesterday when the Browns acknowledged the trade, and this from the Haslams. We spent a tremendous amount of time exploring and investigating the opportunity to trade for Deshaun Watson. We are acutely aware and empathetic to the highly personal sentiments expressed about this decision. Our team's comprehensive evaluation process was of utmost importance due to the sensitive nature of his situation and the complex factors involved. As a matter of fact, they were investigating this scenario all year last year. They knew the Watson scenario was out there. They were watching the way Mayfield was playing. They didn't like it. They were all in on Watson a long time ago and thus did their due diligence, at least that's what they say, on the case. What about Baker Mayfield? His options of getting traded to a team that he wants to go to, they are going away quickly as of this afternoon. Baker wanted to go to the Indianapolis Colts. That will not happen. The Colts traded for quarterback Matt Ryan of the Atlanta Falcons. He'll be 37 in May. They traded for him this afternoon for a third-round draft choice. What about the New Orleans Saints? A nice stop for him. No go. The Saints are going back to quarterback Jameis Winston. What about the Falcons? They just traded away Matt Ryan. What about Baker Mayfield going there? No go. It looks like they're going after Marcus Mariota to be their next quarterback. Where does that leave us right now for Baker Mayfield? Seattle's a possibility. And let me throw one more out to you. Detroit. And you say, the Lions? Yes, John Dorsey is a part of the front office in Detroit with the Lions. John Dorsey is the guy that brought Baker Mayfield here. And as of Friday afternoon, John Dorsey said, this guy is still a winner. I totally believe in him as a starting quarterback in the NFL. Jay and Betsy, here's the other thing that the Browns are worried about right now. The market is shrinking on Baker Mayfield. They wanted to have 2 or 3 teams to bid to try and get a trade done. Right now, they don't seem to be getting any telephone calls on that that deal. Sitting out there right now is his $18.9 million contract, at least the payment of that last year in the contract, which is due him this season, and that would really strap them. They want to wash their hands, send him on his way to another team, and get out from underneath that $18.9 million.
Yeah, that would certainly be nice. Detroit, with the connection with Dorsey, makes perfect sense. Quickly, before I let you go, you mentioned at the top that the strategy now is to go all in on that top-name quarterback. It's worked recently. The Rams went out and got Matthew Stafford, and they have a Super Bowl ring today because of it. So that's how good it can work. Let's see what it works for here in Cleveland.
Absolutely. And remember this, too. Even a year before that, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers went all in on Tom Brady, changed the complete complexion of their team, won a Super Bowl, almost went back to another Super Bowl this year. Jay, it's the new way. Denver said, hey, listen, got to get a quarterback. They went and got Russell Wilson. You don't wait around any longer. You don't wait for draft choices. This year's draft is not plentiful with quarterbacks. You go right after them, and that's what the Browns did on Friday.
Jimmy, great stuff. We'll see you again at 6.
Okay.